What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand spanking new episode of the Hoops All In podcast. We are back after we took a long hiatus break along with the NBA, but the regular season is just right around the corner, roughly about 2.5 weeks away, where NBA basketball starts. We're gonna have opening night. We got the Houston Rockets going up against the defending NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, followed by the all-renewed rivalry between Steph Curry and LeBron James as the Golden State Warriors face off against the Los Angeles Lakers. And with the start of the NBA season coming up, we're going to do an NBA season preview. So we're going to go through all 30 NBA teams, give our thoughts, predictions of what the season outlook is going to look for each team in the association. So, man, Keith, it's been a while since we recorded. Man, how you been? How was your summer? How's everything?
It's good. I mean, it's been this off season has felt like the longest. Like I've been anticipating it the most. Now, obviously, this is going to be our sort of second season. We started at like All-Star break last year, kind of
Mhm.
doing this, but it'll be our second season doing this, our first entire season. But as much as I missed it, and I don't know how you've been, I really haven't watched a lot of preseason because it's like it's preseason. Like I've obviously seen, some things, and I've kept up with headlines. I've watched a little bit here and there, but like you gotta take preseasons with a grain of salt. And it's I haven't been too tapped in because again, like starters are playing like 12 minutes and things like that. People are gonna get shut down after game two, game three. So I'm excited, but yeah, I mean we've got NBA doesn't start this coming Tuesday, but next Tuesday. So we got basically 2 weeks, and I mean, I've been waiting for it. And there are some teams that I'm really excited to watch again.
Yeah, same. And as you mentioned, like I said, no one watches preseason. It's mainly for the rookies to get acclimated to the NBA
Right.
game in some way, shape, or form. Like when you got LeBron James who says, I'm not playing, who's 41
Right.
years old, I'm not playing because of a nerve in his ass. That's how much it goes to show you how serious players, top tier players, take the preseason. So yeah, it's just just to get acclimated to the NBA speed and whatnot.
Yeah, of course.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, we're gonna get into like you were talking about our expectations for all 30 teams. Obviously, some teams we will be going a little bit longer than other teams.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's more geared towards the bottom of the barrel or the really elite teams that we might fly through a little bit. But there are some teams that are like they got some real things to figure out. And it was hard for me to come up with an expectation because like I really don't know. And a lot of them were injury based, which again
Mhm.
we will get to. But let's hop into our first team. We're gonna start in the Northwest Division. We're going with the Denver Nuggets.
Mm.
Denver Nuggets had a pretty good off season with they got rid of Michael Porter Jr., but they got in players like Cam Johnson. They brought back Bruce Brown. They got Valanciunas, someone who can finally back up Jokic. They brought in Tim Hardaway Jr. I mean, hopefully Aaron Gordon's ready to go because he was banged up at the end of the season. But I just said for them, I hope that they are pretty healthy going into playoffs. And with their improved depth, they hopefully don't have to run Jokic into the ground. And like they can kind of give him a break. And obviously he'll still be top three player in the league, but like they can kind of hopefully use some more of their bench because obviously Michael Malone's not there anymore, but he didn't really trust a lot of the young guys and honestly a lot of people outside of the starting lineup. So hopefully we just kind of see a little bit more well-roundedness from the Denver Nuggets and obviously a top 4 seed, I would assume.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there with the seating. The only thing that's a question mark for the Denver Nuggets is gonna be how their new head coach acclimates to the new offense. I believe his name. Who's the new Denver Nuggets head coach again?
Um,
David Adelman, I think. Yeah, I think it's David
that sounds
Adelman.
about right. Yes, David
Yeah.
Adams.
Yeah, so how he's gonna have his fingerprints all over the offense going into having a full training camp underneath his belt and not just getting hired, with 5 regular season games left and then having to get ready for the Clippers in the first round. So it's
Right.
gonna be how he gets his system implemented. I like what the Nuggets did in the offseason. As
Mhm.
you said, they got rid of MPJ's contract. He wasn't living up to it. And then you got back a lot of good. You talk about Cam Johnson. You talk about bringing back Bruce Brown, who was a key essential part in them winning the 2023 championship. And so, and again, I think Tim Hardaway Jr. is also on that roster too. So they got a lot of veterans who have playoff experience, who knows what it takes to have a good playoff run, and it's going to give Jokic a little bit of a break going on to the bench. So yeah, I think a top four team in the Western Conference, probably in the top two. It all depends on, again, how Adelman inputs his offense into this team.
Yeah. I mean, there shouldn't be really any decline. If anything, ooh, were they the 3 seed last year? They were the 4 seed last year, but they were tied with the Clippers and Lakers.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, there shouldn't be any regression there, I don't think. If anything, like you said, there's a potential that, they could get better with,
Yeah.
again, they brought in Cam Johnson, who is maybe not necessarily the shooter, high volume shooter that Michael Porter Jr. does, but he does similar things. And I would venture to say probably a better defender. Maybe it's hard. Michael Porter Jr. gets injured somewhat often, but and has gone through some injuries. But I mean, you can't say they got worse. Like, and then they still got their young guys like Peyton Watson, who I assume would get some time, Julian Strother. Like, they didn't really, like, again, we said they lost Michael Porter Jr., but the things they brought in kind of fill that hole and more. So,
Yeah, and like you said, they brought in a younger and not younger, but a cheaper and more experienced version of MPJ because
yeah,
Cam Johnson, I think, is making 1/3 of MPJ's salary,
I think he's
shooting
around
about this.
20.
Yeah, something like that. So they're shooting about the same, field goal percentage, same 3-point percentage. So
Yeah.
he's more of an efficient shot maker. And again, defense probably give it the same because we all know MPJ is not a defensive stopper. But yeah, when you're able to get rid of a guy who you're paying what $30 million to, and don't get me wrong, MPJ was a very, very good player, but
Yeah.
you get 1/3 of that and the same guy less money. I think any NBA owner or GM would take that in a heartbeat.
Mhm. All right. Next, we've got Minnesota Timberwolves. I kind of said I would expect them to make at least the second round of the playoffs, even in the cram packed West. Um, Also, to finally see the guys like Rob Dillingham, Terrence Shannon really going to need to take a step because they lost Nikhil Alexander Walker this offseason. Mike Conley is, I mean, he's at least 38. He's got to be at least 38 or something like that. He's getting worse. And I mean, they just kind of have holes that they need to be filled. And those guys, I think, are going to be relied on more than what they were last year. And I also said Anthony Edwards, dark horse MVP this year.
Ooh, I like that pick. Anthony Edwards, dark horse MVP. Yeah, I kind of echo what you said. Now we're going to see Rob Dillingham play more minutes, especially with the decline of Michael Conley, who's like 37. So we know he's not going to be playing much. Going to continue to see how the chemistry continues to develop with Randall and Anthony Edwards, that 1-2 punch. I want to see Dante DiVincenzo snap out of his slump because this guy was a very, very efficient 3-point shooter throughout his entire career until he got to Minnesota and then he became like the weather, ice cold. He couldn't hit a thing, from beyond the arc, and that's not like him. Very inconsistent. I like to see Jaden McDaniels also take a step more in the offense. Nas Reed's gonna have more of the ball in his hands, more offensive plays called for him. We all know the type of issues that Rudy Gobert brings on the offense and him on the offensive end, but he's still going to be there defensively. So I think overall, the two F factors for me, in my opinion, for this team is going to be DiVincenzo's shot making abilities and his efficiency, and how Jaden McDaniels continues to improve that offense because they're going to need a consistent third reliable scorer, whether that's Reed, McDaniels, or maybe Dillingham takes that role since he's going to have more playing time at the point.
Yeah, I recorded a video for my own channel talking about the Timberwolves. I don't think it actually ever got uploaded, but I was like at right the past 2 years they've been in the Western Conference Final. Anthony Edwards has really emerged and solidified as a top 10 guy in this league, best shooting guard in the league. But like after, I mean, maybe not after this year, but the year after, I'm really worried that like their window might boom be gone like that because like you said, Rudy Gobert, he's got to be, you know,
It's like
he's at
32,
least 30,
33.
at
Yeah.
32, something like that. Again, we were talking about Mike Conley. Julius Randle, I would assume, is just hit the 30 mark, if not just about to hit the 30 mark. And they extended Julius Randle, they extended Nas Reed, which I think was good. I think Julius Randle was great for them, especially in the playoffs where he kind of had a bad rep around his name from like being in New York and whatever. Um, but I'm worried that the window might close. I think they are going to rely on a Jaden McDaniels jump, who I talked about in my own video that I put out for top 10 small forwards. I was
Mhm.
talking about him saying that he's getting there, but like he's a real streaky guy though. Sometimes he'll put the ball on the floor. Sometimes he'll shoot 40% from three in a little bit of a stretch throughout a few games, but then sometimes he'll shoot 30% from three. Sometimes he'll just be a catch and shoot guy in the corner. And obviously one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. I would assume that starting this season, we see more of Nas Reed closing out games instead of Rudy Gobert, just because like they paid Nas Reed a pretty I think it was like 100 somewhere in that range.
Yeah, he got a nice size contract this
Um
offseason.
and again, Rudy obviously offensively has never been that guy, but like sometimes it is really frustrating. But then again, it's like you look at Rudy as like he's a four-time DPOY. So I think that part is really matchup based, but I would assume that those guys are really gonna be, other than like we were saying with the youngins, but like McDaniels and Nas Reed, I think is going to be big parts of this, even within the next 2-3 years, as Rudy Gobert starts to fizzle out, and maybe Julius Randle isn't like a 20 and 10 type of guy anymore or anything like that. So, but I mean, I'm a believer in Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. He just gets better every year. Seems to add a new part of his game each year, especially when it's necessary. So I believe in him, and that's why again he's a dark horse for MVP. Not saying he'll win, but like he'll be in considerations for sure.
Well, the thing that kind of we talked about Rudy Gobert and his contract. I think the Timberwolves they're gonna have to trade him probably at this trade deadline because he's making $35 million a year. He's on the books for next year at 36.5, and he has a player option for the following year after that at 35 years old for $38 million. You can't be paying a guy that's not even giving you 10 points per game. That's way too much money. Again, he's great defensively, but he becomes a liability on the offensive end come the playoffs, and teams exploit them for that. So if you're Minnesota, you got to look at maybe trade him for like a Nikola Vucevic or maybe a Zubac or Walker Kessler, somebody who could bring an offensive game along with get you some type of rebounds and block shots. They're not going to have the same defensive impact that Rudy Gobert does because, like you mentioned, he's a four-time DPOY, but you're going to need to have some type of offensive consistency from your big man. Now, maybe they could just trade him to get another a playmaker, and they could just have Nas Reed, start at center. But then now your bench is going to be a little bit thin. So if
Mhm.
I'm the Timberwolves, I look at getting rid of him. And like I said, Vucevic, the name was in the trade deadline on the trade rumors last year. I expect him to be in that same situation. Maybe like I said, if you could get maybe somebody like Walker Kessler, if Utah's willing to get rid of him. But other than that, I don't see him staying on this team past this year. Hell, even past this February.
Yeah, it's hard though because who are you going to tell to trade for a 33-year-old Rudy Gobert
True.
who's going to make 30 whatever $36 million? It's hard, but it would probably be nice. All right. Portland Trailblazers. I said we got to start getting to a point where we got to know who's there long term because right, they just acquired Damian Lillard back. They acquired Drew Holiday back. Obviously guys like Aiton went out the door. Um, but like we got to see like is Shaden Sharp gonna be like because legit there might be times where he might not start. Jeremy Grant is still there, even though Shane Sharp I think was their leading scorer last year. Like we got to figure out who's going to be here in the long run. Obviously, a jump from Tamani Kamara last year makes it even harder because that's another wing. Donovan Clingan, who will probably be the full time starter over there. They still got Robert Williams, who is apparently isn't even healthy to start the year again. He's not even playing contact. Like, I mean, so yeah, and obviously Denny Adia. Some people think that he could make an all like have an all-star snub, all-star jump type of seasons, but I would assume the Trailblazers, if not this year, then next year, want to start competing a little bit. And like, you trade for Drew and Dame back, or well, I guess they signed Dame up for whatever, like 15 million a year or whatever it is. But like, have we given up on Scoot? Scoot was you traded Dame the first time because you were getting Scoot in that draft, third overall. You get Drew back. And granted, I don't think you really gave up much for Drew. You gave up Anthony Simons, sure. But Anthony Simons is on the last year of his deal, and Boston's got to figure out what they're going to do with him. But like, you got 2 point guards who objectively are better than him right now. And granted, Dame's not playing this year, but like, he's going to be back at some point. So like, I just don't know what their plan is at that point guard position.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, maybe they could probably try to use not Drew, Damian Lillard and possibly Drew, excuse me, as a mentor towards Scoot. Because again, he was a top overall pick for them. You think he's going to be the franchise, the new face of franchise, and just quite hasn't lived up to that 2 years into league, entering year three.
Yeah.
Talk about stats last year, just under 13 points a game, 3 rebounds, 5.1 assists, shooting around 42% from the field. Excuse me, that's rookie stats. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be averaging better numbers in year two, especially going into year three. So, I believe Scoot's battling some type of hamstring injury. So we'll see if he's ready to start opening night. But yeah, I think if Scoot doesn't improve his stats, I think they might just be looking to maybe get rid of him. Because again, look, we all know the NBA, they give you a little bit of patience, but by year three, if you don't make that big leap jump and they're giving you all the resources, the mentor, the tool, maybe you're just not that guy. And so I think this is a way it can unlock Scoot's potential. I think this is his last year. I think that the Timberwolves, not Timberwolves, that the Trailblazers are possibly,
I would
like
start to get
giving them hope.
worried if you don't see
Yeah.
any progression.
Yeah, and again, having the toolage of Dame and Drew, especially Drew, who's a two-time champion, been to the finals, Olympic gold medal. Same thing with Dame Lillard. They should unlock something. Especially Dame. Dame's gonna be the highest paid coach in the NBA this year. He's not gonna have to play, recover from that Achilles. Yo, take Scoot under your wing. Show him what it's like to be a professional. Show him what it's like to get the offense going, find your spots. That's something he should know by now, or at least start to tap in going to year three of in the NBA. And like you said, Robert Williams, man, my God. I mean, listen, you hope he gets healthy, but this man has had some injuries that scare you.
It hurts, bro.
Shaden Sharp is probably gonna look like their face of the franchise if he keeps playing at
Yeah,
this caliber. Obviously, they got guys like Donovan Clingan, Jeremy Grant, who they're probably gonna look to trade because he's making a nice
yeah.
size of money. So there's a lot of question marks with this Timberwolves, but we all know that they're gonna be dog shit this year. They're not gonna make the playoffs. It's just gonna be another rebuilding year, and the storyline is just have Dame Lillard back.
Yeah. The Robert Williams stuff. Robert Williams is legit my favorite non-all-star Celtic ever. Like, I
Wow,
loved
really?
having Robert Williams. I was so upset when we traded him. Obviously, we ended up winning a ring, so
Yeah,
like, doesn't matter too much. But like, it sucks, bro, because he made all defensive when he was healthy, bro. Like,
he's good. Yeah,
he is like the perfect shot blocking, rim running center that you need, like,
yeah,
and fit.
yeah, he's
So.
very impactful in the defensive end for sure.
All right. OKC. I mean, I said they should at least be in the NBA finals. And I said if everyone is healthy by that time, they probably will have 3 All-Stars.
Yeah, I echo. I mean, we don't have to talk deep about this team. They brought everybody back. Shea, you got Chet, all on max deals, and who's the third one? Excuse me, Shea, Chet, and why am I
Jalen,
blanking out now?
J-Dub.
A-Dub, yeah, who all on max contracts. Like I said, they're young, super deep, talented. Yeah, NBA Finals again. I don't see a team in the West beating them.
Yeah. All right. Then we go to the bottom of that conference, basically, the Utah Jazz. We got to get some answers, man. Are you keeping Walker Kessler? I mean, he's in year 4, I think now. I mean, he's one of the best shot blockers in the league and rebounders, but they don't seem like they've been trying to move him for a little bit. Laurie Markkinen still there. What are we doing with that? And then who's the point guard? Are we doing Isaiah Collier? Or are we doing Keontae George?
Mm,
We started Keontae George in his rookie year. Last year, we're starting Isaiah Collier.
mm,
What's going on? Because I thought Keontae George wasn't too bad. I think
mhm.
I've started to dabble in advanced stats a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure I did a 2K video on my channel a few months ago, and I'm pretty sure advanced stat wise, Keontae George last year was one of the worst players in the NBA. But that's
Damn.
advanced stats. It's not eye test, so I'm not 100%. But
Yeah.
like I I thought in his rookie year, did he make all rookie second team? I thought he did. Maybe not. Yeah, he was all rookie in his rookie year.
That's about
Um,
it.
so yeah, I mean, Last year he averaged 17 and 5.5. Doesn't seem too bad on paper to me. So, but yeah, I mean, I just they're gonna be a lot top five pick team. You would hope. If they're not and they end up like 9, that's a failure of a season to me.
Yeah, dog shit for this franchise. They've been dog shit for the last couple of years, ever since they traded away Donovan Mitchell and Rudy. We had the whole Ace Bailey controversy during the draft that Danny Ainge selected him when he showed no interest in playing for that franchise. They got Kevin Love, who I don't know why is he still there. They should have bought him out immediately when they got him. Laurie Marketing, there's question marks around him. Is he going to be there for the team long term, even though he's the team's best player right now?
Yeah.
You mentioned the Walker Kessler situation. They got Yusuf Nurkic, which I don't know why. Yeah, this team is just dog shit. So
And then they got rid of guys like Colin Sexton, which is how you get use of Nurkic, who might be one of the most hated players in the NBA, like consensus wise.
yeah,
I mean, Ace Bailey, hopefully they just let him rock out. Uh, they also got rid of Jordan Clarkson, but like, yeah, they gotta. I don't know. There are some things where it's like, okay, maybe, but it's a real maybe if they turn out.
yeah,
But
yeah,
um,
for sure.
all right, then we'll go out east. We'll go to the Atlantic Division that's got our teams in it. And we'll start with the Celtics. Now, my expectations and what I want is completely different. I would like for them to lose to get a high pick. We have our pick this year. I would like for them to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Boston, I don't know if has ever been like that to tank purposefully, especially not right off the bat. Um, but my expectations is that they're going to try and be competitive. They're going to start Pritchard, Derek White, Jalen Brown. I think they're going to start Chris Boucher and Kada. I'm not sure. But like they're going to probably try and be competitive, especially it seems like Tatum is going to be back at some point this season with the
I
way he's
don't know why. I don't know why.
I
There's
mean,
no need. There's no need for Tatum to play this year. Don't rush him back. Don't listen to a damn thing he says. Celtics trainers and medical staff do not play Jason Tatum this year. This year's a wash. I don't want to hear about no March, no April, no January. Do not let him touch the basketball court until 2026, 2027.
okay, but let me say this, right? So he did you see the Stephen A thing a few weeks ago or
Yeah,
no
I
with
did.
him
I
on
saw.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so he was basically, long story short, he was like, everybody's saying that I'm going to be out for the season, but I myself haven't said it, right? So that obviously gave people some more clues of it, and obviously no player wants to miss a whole season. He was talking about Tyrese Halliburton, he was talking about Dame, and he was talking about DeJounte Murray, who all went through Achilles/ACL things. Um, and he was like, obviously, I'm not gonna rush back, but like, I mean, and honestly, looking at things and looking at him move, like he's him and all those guys, like Tyrese and Dame, seem to be progressing pretty fast. I will say, I don't think it's just a Tatum thing. Um, but if the Celtics are, I don't know, say at the All Star break, which is like late February, they're the fifth seed and Tatum's like, "Yo, I think I'm good."
No,
Okay.
no,
I
no,
mean, I'm not giving my answer because again, I said what I want them to do.
no,
I said what I want them to do, but I'm just trying to play the other side.
no. Listen, Jason Tatum is an investment. He's the face of the franchise. You do not want your investment to drop in value and possibly miss the entirety of next year. As much as Jason Tatum loves basketball, and yes, he has looked fantastic. Just a few short months after tearing his Achilles, he probably on the road to have the fastest recovery ever. The medicine is better, the surgery is better, the technology is better. They all went to the same doctors that KD and the late great Kobe Bryant got their operation done. But this is about your future. Jason Tatum, you're 27, 28 years old. You have nothing to prove right now. Get yourself 100% healthy. Take the KD route. Miss the entirety of a full year and get yourself back to 1,000%. I don't give a damn if the Boston Celtics are a number 3 or 4 seed. No, 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 no. Especially you rush somebody coming off a catastrophic injury like that. You risk the potential It's obviously it's not as big, but you still risk the potential of him re-injuring that, and then now he's out for the entirety of next year. No, Jason Tatum, I love you, but shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Do not touch. I don't want to even see him near the court. The only time I want to see him on the basketball court is if he's for him rehabbing. He better not step foot on an NBA court this entire season. I don't want to see him play. Get right, get healthy, take the KD route. We'll see you in 2026, 2027, when you guys are going to be legit title contenders with you, Brown, and all the horses getting ready for battle next year. I don't want to see Tatum on the court this year. I don't.
I will say he was at Duke's opening night or whatever. He's now the chief basketball operator, which a lot of current players have done. Like I think Curry did it. I think Dame has done it.
And like
I know
GMs and stuff like
Shaq
that too.
did it, I think, too.
Yeah, it was like Sacramento State or something.
Yeah. And he was rocking the braids for a little while, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
the braids look crazy on him, bro. Just keep
your
your eye.
But I'm so used to his hair normally looks good. So but the braids weren't that bad. Some people like I think it's just because it's different, right? Like but all right, let's go to one of your teams. Let's go the Nets. This was another one that was super hard. I mean, I said make sure that Cam Thomas, Michael Porter Jr., and Claxton do you want them to stay? Because obviously Cam Thomas, we know what happened with Cam Thomas. He took the qualifying offer because he thought, I don't know if it was him or if it was Quentin Grimes who was like, I don't know. One of them was comparing themselves to someone who got like 30 or 40-ish million or something a couple seasons ago. But like, obviously we know the thing that happened with all those restricted free agents this season and everything. But like Cam Thomas is about as one way of a player as you can get, where he's going to give you 23 a night. But what else is he doing? Michael Porter Jr. is not on that same level of it, but like he's a good rebounder and things like that. But he's not passing either. And then Claxton's been here for a while. So I just don't. I really don't know. And you drafted 4 point guards, but I don't know. I really don't know. So I kind of just made something up for that.
Yeah, let's be real. The Brooklyn Nets are going to be dog shit again. What they're doing to Cam Thomas is an absolute travesty. It's a joke. Okay, granted, yeah, he wanted his money, but for him to just re-sign a qualifying offer of like $6-7 million is disgusting. The most noise that the Brooklyn Nets have made besides signing MPJ was the comments that MPJ was making on these podcast tours this off season. That's the only thing. Nick Claxton, if I was him, I ask out. You got your money. You're what, 26, 27 years old. That team ain't going nowhere for the next 4 or 5 years. Get the hell up out of there. There's nothing to do in Brooklyn besides, get run away from roaches. You got these fucking subway trains and continue increase in prices. It's ridiculous. So Nick Claxton, free Nick Claxton. Danny Wolf, again, that's a good spot for them. Hopefully he's the face of the franchise if they continue to build around him properly. But other than that, Terrence Mann, not good for that team. Haywood Hicksmith, dog shit. Yeah, we have a dog shit GM and Sean Marks who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. The owner, I have criticized the owner so many times. Joe Tsai, I don't know how the fuck you blow having KD, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden all on one team, and then you decide to say whatever bullshit behind closed doors was. I know some of it what happened. I'm not going to say it, but the worst owner ever. I don't care. You have 3 superstars. You don't let them go. Maybe it's because they lived in Brooklyn and Brooklyn's not the most nicest place on the planet because it's not Manhattan, but come on. Dog shit for the Brooklyn Nets. As a Nets fan, I will be going to 1 game, maybe 2 if they play a good team. Other than that, is just when you drive by Barclays Center, it's gonna sound like a drive-by shooting, not because of the neighborhood, because of the amount of bricks that they're gonna throw up at that arena. It's a complete dog shit of a mess over there. I can't believe I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, but Jesus.
I want to do something real quick. How many? I'm gonna look it up right now. Between Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr., based on their stats last season, how many assists do you think they averaged together per game?
Probably like 2-3 assists.
Well, Cam Thomas only played 25 games last year, so it's a little skewed, but like he's actually at 3.8 by himself.
Kind of surprising.
Michael Porter Jr. is at 2.1 though.
Who's gonna set up their offense? Like you mentioned, they drafted 4 point guards. Like
a bunch of rookies.
Yeah.
Now we'll talk about the better New York team.
Yes.
And I can't believe I'm gonna say this as a Boston fan. My favorite to come out of the East should be a top 2 seed again. I mean, the East is really them and obviously the Cavs, who we'll get to later on. But like they with them bringing in Yabusele, they got Jordan Clarkson. Um, they still got the starting five: Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride. They brought Malcolm Brogdon. That's who I was forgetting. I mean, they're pretty versatile. They got depth. Again, Thibodeau's out the door. It's Mike Brown now,
Mike
right?
Brown, yeah.
So hopefully we'll see how that goes. Can't imagine that he's going to be the same run my starters into the ground type of dude like Thibodeau is.
You
But
never
yeah,
know.
I mean, I legit have the Knicks as my favorite over the Cavs in the East.
Yeah, the Knicks, like I said, they actually, I think they had one of the quieter off seasons with the addition of Jordan Clarkson. I think he was going to bring a lot of firepower coming off the bench. Give some break too to fucking Jalen Brunson, who's playing like 40 minutes a game. Same thing with
Yeah,
Josh Hart. So I like that addition of them a lot. Able to re-sign Mikal to a big contract, like you just mentioned, Yabusele. I believe Malcolm Brogdon is also on that team
yep.
too. So they had a pretty solid off season. And, the question mark surrounding the health of Mitchell Robinson, who's their backup center. But yeah, the fact that, again, I don't know if you heard this, that there was a report that Woj put out there that the Knicks were the only team that was
Shams,
seriously
not
interested.
Woj.
Not Woj, sorry,
Those
I
have been
miss
the
Woj.
best.
That Shams put out there that the
Okay.
Knicks were the only team that were seriously interested in trying to work a trade to get Giannis. Now,
Well,
again, who
I think it's Giannis was only
Oh,
interested.
Giannis, yeah, Giannis.
I don't
But
think it
but
was
the
fully.
Knicks, they just didn't have the assets, I believe, that the Bucks. Because again, if you're not talking about Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, then there's no discussion to give you Giannis for what? Mikal Bridges,
If I'm
OG
being
Anunoby,
honest, what would you? Okay, you're is it Leon Poe? Who
Leon Rose, yeah.
Leon Rose, not Leon Poe. Um, okay, they told you we'll trade you Giannis. What is it based on what you have this year? Obviously, picks. You don't worry about picks, but player wise, I would. I'm not gonna lie. I would give up Cat, and if they want something else, I would give up OG because OG's making like $42 million a year, which is again OG's good, but that's a ridiculous amount of money.
That's
Now
what
I
I'm
don't know if
saying.
they would take that because they're paying Miles Turner and
Mhm.
things like that, but like I mean I would say I would ship Cat right out the door if they said Giannis could come. I'm sorry, Cat, but
But listen, hold on. I think Knicks. You're probably it's 50-50 with Knicks fans because Cat had a tremendous year last year, his first year with the Knicks.
yeah.
There would be a lot of Knicks fans. They would understand it because it's Giannis, it's Greek freak.
Mhm.
But I don't think they would because now, okay, who's gonna be your center position is thin. There's only so much power for a center that Giannis can play. I don't trust Mitchell Robinson. Again,
Okay.
injury has been a big question mark for that guy. And who else on that roster can play solid minutes at the five?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably putting Giannis at the 5.
I mean, Giannis can handle the five, but not for
So
48
Josh
minutes a
Hart
night.
could be the small ball 4 or Yabu. You could start
Nah.
Yabu or something like that. But
Listen, the only thing I would do is try to get a 3-team trade. I'm keeping
well, yeah,
Cat and Jalen. You could have everybody
well,
else.
yeah.
You could have the janitor. You could have Mike Brown. You could have Leon Rose. You can have James Dolan. You could have the Rats running around in Manhattan. You could have everybody else. But you ain't touching Cat or Jalen Brunson. That's just my opinion.
Okay. We might have to do with the season coming back. We might have to do an episode where maybe I find trades for you and we
Okay.
we see how we do. But that would be interesting. But yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, I'm not surprised. Giannis has hinted so many times about potentially leaving the Bucks and like he wants to see the foreign players in a big market. He wants to see him in New York. He wants to see Jokic in like Chicago. He wants to see Luca. Luca went to LA, but
Mhm.
like just things like that. So he's hinted at it too much. But um all right, Philly, another hard team. I would say they've got to at least be a play-in team this year. Like, and that shouldn't be hard for them. I would say at least play-in. I know people hate it, but you got to save Embiid for playoff time. Granted, you got to play him enough to get you into the playoffs, or at least high play-in, like a 7-8 seed. But like, if they miss it altogether again, they gotta talk about some things, and it's gonna be with that big man down there in Embiid.
Yeah. Oh man, this is probably arguably the biggest question mark team in the NBA. You mentioned Embiid. I think Daryl Morey came on and said he doesn't even know if Embiid is going to be ready to start the season. What do
He
you
looks
mean you don't
great
know if he's
now.
going to be
He looks
ready?
better, but yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That is why the Sixers have been the hardest team to do this for, because nobody knows nothing about Joel Embiid. Paul
Like,
George won't be ready. We know that Paul George won't be ready to start the season. And then, Embiid, I think we did recently find out that he will miss the first little bit, but like he does look better. But I feel like players like him and Zion, they do this shit every year where they
bro,
look better, they're all slimmed down. Like it's
but
just
that's the thing. They just gave Embiid 3 years, $193
yeah, so much money.
million fully
So
guaranteed. You are not being a construction worker. You ain't being no engineer. You ain't being no
much.
astronaut. You ain't being a politician. You ain't, building homes and doing other stuff. You are a basketball player, bro. You getting paid $193 million. And this guy, I don't know who's worse, him or Kawhi Leonard when it comes to showing up playing basketball. Obviously, Kawhi showed up a lot, but we'll talk about the Clippers later. But come on, man, this is crazy. Like if he's that injury prone and his legs are just shot, yo, at this point, retire. You got your money made. If you retire, you're
That
still gonna get $193 million.
that's
You
something that
know,
was talked about early in the
you gotta
offseason that
go.
if he wasn't able, because he had a surgery, if he wasn't able to recover from the surgery, they were talking about medically retiring him. Like,
Yeah, he's
I mean,
got to.
now granted, that's ultimately his decision, not the team's, but like I
Nah, bro. I
it's
think, yeah,
bad, bro.
bro.
Like, and I mean, peak Joel Embiid's peak as a center is one of the greatest offensive centers we've seen.
Mm-hmm. I
But when that
agree.
peak comes out every 10 games and he gets hurt for another 3 games after, and then he's got to miss knick-knack, but guess what, he's also not playing back-to-backs. Paul George, and someone who is supposed to be a running mate with him and Maxey, also is doing the same shit where he's getting injured every now and then, and he's not playing back-to-backs, and he looked ass when he was playing. Like i, I don't
Yeah,
know, bro.
bro.
It's
Just
hard. They got questions, bro. If this year doesn't show something, like they've got something, because like you think about their young, like they just drafted VJ with the third pick, who looked pretty damn good in his limited preseason play. He was trying to dunk on anybody. Tyrese Maxey is still, I think, only like 25 or something like that. Like again, Quentin Grimes is there for now, but like I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know what their pick situation looks like, but I can't imagine it's I don't know, because Paul George was a signing, so I'm not sure. I'm not even gonna comment on it, but I don't know.
yeah, VJ, the rookie VJ and Tyrese are the only two bright spots for this organization. Other than that, everybody got to go. I mean, Jared McCain not even gonna be
Yeah,
able
not
to
even
start
gonna
the
be
season
ready.
because he just got hurt
Yeah,
again, coming off
yeah,
a torn meniscus. So you're like, bro, the Philly curse is rubbing off on him too. So you're gonna have Embiid, George, and McCain all out. Yo, listen, like we mentioned, the prediction, my prediction for the Sixers is probably six seed at best.
yeah,
At best. If these guys don't even make it to the second round, the semifinals of the Eastern Conference, oh yeah, Embiid, hey, we're gonna have to look to get rid of you. Paul George, yeah, that's getting traded. As much as we love you, Jared McCain, you had a very good rookie season, the first 15, 20 games, whatever, before he went out with his torn meniscus. You got to go to build around VJ, build around Tyrese Maxey, and then just take it from there.
yeah. I mean, those some of those young guys, like McCain missed most of his rookie season.
Yeah.
He's gonna miss a spot. There, do you know Nikola Topic, right? In OKC, the point
Mm-hmm.
guard in the past draft, he missed all last year because of a torn ACL, and now he's gonna miss about 6 weeks because of a testicular procedure he had. Like, bro, these guys can't get a break. Like, it sucks when those young
Yeah,
guys get hurt like that.
yeah,
But we gotta start flying through some of these. All right,
yeah.
Raptors. I said they should probably be a playing team, and they need to find out if all those wings are staying between RJ, between obviously Ingram hasn't even played a second for them yet, and is quickly a starter in this league. Like, is he a starter or is he a damn good backup? Because they paid him a lot of money without ever seeing him play when they did it. Obviously, he's played since then, but um, they got to figure out all those wings and stuff over there.
Yeah. This team could be a dark horse to possibly be maybe a sixth, seventh, eighth seed in the East because the East is
Yeah,
obviously more wide open with the likes of the Pacers not going to be a playoff team. Obviously, the injury to Halliburton and the Celtics taking a back step. But yeah, I mean, if I don't know, like you talk about
I know.
quickly. Like, damn, bro, quickly. You just got paid. Ingram got paid before he stepped foot on the court in the Raptors jersey. I like their draft pick, Collins Murray, Boyles, to see
Yeah.
what he's going to be capable of doing his first year. But there's been question marks about RJ Barrett's future with the franchise, so that's also something to consider. But yeah, I think Masai Ujiri stepped down this past all season too. So they got on paper, they're really young, they're really talented, but I think given 7, 6, 7, 8 seed at best, probably.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back out west of the Pacific Division with all the Cali teams in Phoenix. We got Golden State, who recently did some things. A
A
little
little
way
bit.
too late to do some of those things, but I said you gotta let Curry, someone's got to take the offensive load off him, whether that's Jimmy Butler, whether that's maybe giving Kaminga a seventh chance, even though they don't believe in Kaminga. Even if my thing is, I don't think that the load from Curry has come off because they're still trying to be the 2017 Warriors, where they're the best 3-point shooting team in the league, right?
Hmm.
Obviously, they got the best 3-point shooter on their team, but they don't got Klay Thompson. They don't got KD. They don't got all these guys. Granted, they got some good guys and Buddy Hield and Pods who can shoot it, but you got to let somebody help Curry out, even if that means you're maybe stepping away from the 3-point shot more than you have in the past decade. You
Hmm.
know, like I get wanting to stick to the thing that won you 4 championships and got you to the finals 6 times, but I don't know. They can't do it forever, but I mean they play in. I think they're gonna be a play-in team. If I can't see them being a top 6 seed out west.
Yeah, I maybe probably, yeah, maybe five. I'll see them as five. But yeah, I mean, the thing is with the Golden State Warriors, first of all, Mike Dunleavy Jr., I don't know what the fuck he's doing as the general manager. He should have been fired. Why are you now all of a sudden, literally the day of training camp, signing Al Horford and Steph Curry onto the roster
Oh
when
my
you should have done that in the beginning of free agency? Why are you just making these moves now? So now you got two guys who are literally the day they sign their contracts have to get acclimated to a brand new offense. All right, they haven't done shit. No offseason moves the entirety of the summer. Kaminga is back there begrudgingly. He wants to get traded more than anything. Him and Steve Kerr don't see eye to eye.
no.
Like this roster of Steph Curry, Horford, Seth Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green would be great 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
They're a walking hospital bill. They're a walking
Right.
hospital bill. I mean,
I'm pretty sure with them getting an Al Horford and still having, like I would assume the starting a potential starting lineup for them is Curry, who's over 35 years old, Pods, who's like 24, 25, but Jimmy, 35 plus, Draymond, 35 plus, and Al Horford, who's 35 plus. I'm pretty sure they took the crown from the Clippers of being the unction or whatever the hell they
yeah,
call
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
literally.
think it's by far too. And that's crazy because you got 40-year-old Chris Paul, you got 37-year-old James Harden, Bradley Beal, Kawhi, you got all those old ass people over there, and you sign. I mean, Al Horford. Al Horford is the first NBA jersey I've ever had. I love Al Horford was great, and he still is even as a 39-year-old. But and obviously the Kaminga stuff held up a lot of their off season, but that's pretty much their fault. I've been on the Warriors side of the Kaminga thing for most of it, as you as you know, this has been happening for a while. But they didn't want to play him like the young star he thought he should be paid like.
Yeah,
But then they also weren't trading him because they weren't going to get a star level return.
yeah,
You can't not pay someone because you don't think they're a star, but then expect a star level return from that same
yeah,
player.
yeah,
And I get there. It did get to a point where I was like, Kaminga, man, you got to take something, bro. Because I think he signed that deal. I think the next day it was the qualifying offer deadline to where I think if him and Quentin Grimes didn't sign like a deal, they were going to automatically take a qualifying offer, which is like $7 million, I think.
hmm,
And part of the problem was Kaminga got, I think, 46 million over 2 years, 20, which is like 23 a year. But they gave him a team option, which he didn't want. He wanted a player option. And he either wanted to have a long-term contract to where he didn't have to worry about this shit next off season again, or they wanted them to believe in them, and obviously they don't. And I think that's part of the problem. And I honestly think that the start of this season, while he's there, because some former NBA players that have podcasts like Evan Turner or Jeff Teague and people like that talk about how a situation like Kaminga would happen where they're like, all right, I'm gonna prove my like right, I'm gonna prove myself and show them that they're making a mistake trading me. But then the Warriors might do him dirty and be like, all right, we're gonna tank his minutes so he doesn't look as good numbers wise. And because a lot of players compare themselves to like Quentin Grimes would compare himself to Jalen Green, who has a $30 million contract. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they could tank his value by not playing him as much. But then again, if you do that to where he doesn't look as good for his own contract, then other teams aren't going to want to trade for him. So it's a double like you're going to the Warriors are in the worst position of this all. And again, I've been on the Kaminga side of it, but I mean, that was a rant. I do this every time we talk about the Warriors. I talk about that, but
Hey, you didn't talk about your favorite player, Draymond Green, on that roster too. How many nuts you think he's going to kick this season?
I don't know. I've given up with the like. All right, he's going to change or maybe hold out because like, I mean that season where he did the Nurkic thing, the Rudy Gobert stuff, there was someone else too where he was like he got like 10-game suspensions
Grounded,
or
yeah.
whatever. That was like 2 or 3 years ago, and just nothing's changed. So I don't even give it energy anymore, and I'm about to be there with this whole team. So
Love
um,
you, Draymond.
I mean, good player. He's going to be a Hall of Fame or get his jersey retired, but like,
He's
Jesus
just a pain
Christ,
in
man.
the fucking ass. That's what it is.
All right, Clippers. They got to be healthy. Like this season truly matters. Like Kawhi Leonard, bro. Man, and like honestly, I did my top 10 small forwards earlier today, and I was looking at his games, and he played 37 games last year. That's actually the least amount of games he's played in a season for the Clippers, other than a season he missed the entire thing for because I think he tore his ACL. But like the first year he played 57, then 52, then he was hurt, and then 52, and then 68 in 2024, where he was actually all NBA and everything like that. If they can get that, I think the Clippers will be the best team in California, better than the Lakers.
That's not a stretch. I mean, like you said, when you look at their roster, Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul, James Harden, Bradley Beal, Brooke Lopez, John Collins, this
Hey,
would be a great roster in 2016 or hell 2015, but not in 2025. Like you said, the unction. We all know Chris Paul, last legs, arguably, he's had strong indications that's going to be his last year with the league. 40 years old. He's going to be
yeah,
there playing limited minutes. The bright spot, besides the whole Kawhi Leonard aspiration,
yeah,
faulty money in the all season, is James Harden. James Harden had a great year, had a pretty much a comeback year for the
yeah.
Clippers. And now you bring in a guy like Bradley Beal, who pretty much was not so favorable with that victory in Houston last year. Not Houston, with Phoenix last year. Even though he had 17 points and shot almost 50% from the field, that's pretty really good production for a guy that you signed for what, 10, 12 million dollars a year. So
Right.
I expect Bradley Beal to kind of have a
Yeah.
resurgence year with the Clippers. I think he'll probably be the second, third option, flip flop between Harden and Leonard. John Collins, again, a younger athletic center. I believe he's 28 years old. Last year, he had a very great year with the Jazz, 19
Yeah, but
points,
they weren't
8
playing him as much.
rebounds,
I am a huge John Collins guy
53%.
though, so
Yeah. But he'll have a good. I think he'll have a good year because again, Zubac is more of like get back to the basket. He'll
yeah,
get rebounds, black shots. Brooke Lopez is going to come and probably play like 10, 15 minutes a night. But
yeah.
John Collins, in my opinion, is going to be the X factor for this
Perfect
team.
for James Harden. Lob threat,
Yes, lopped.
can hit
Yes.
the three. Obviously, it's skewed. He was like, I think he was almost 40% last year, but like he's like, I don't know. Let me not guess. Let me just pull it up real quick. But like, I'm a John Collins guy. I mean, he shot 39.9% from three last year, 37% the year before, but then his last year in Atlanta in 2023, he shot 29%. So like
Mhm.
you don't necessarily know, but I mean he's a cool 15 points a game, I think, on this
Mhm.
team.
Yeah.
And not a bad defender either. Like I'm a John Collins guy.
Yeah, so
Um,
shout out to John Collins. Like I said, he'll be the biggest X factor. So, Clippers, I would say top 3 team in the West because they're also being coached
Oh,
by Tyronn Lue. Top 3.
top three?
Top 3. Again, John
Oh,
Collins, X Factor, James Harden. I mean, you know what? It's top 4, but I think there'll be a top 3 team. We'll put top
that's
4, but top
crazy.
3. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We are 50 minutes in. We still got half the league to do. So let's just
Yeah,
start to
yeah,
fly
let's
through some
go.
of
Yeah,
these.
8:30 deadline. Let's get it.
Um, Lakers. I mean, we'll see if Aiton is what they expected. I don't think it's gonna be. Like Aiton's a good player, but I don't think he's gonna be the perfect Aiton LeBron center or Luca and LeBron center. And they got to find out who that fifth starter is going to be. Obviously, we got Luca, we got Reeves, we got LeBron, and we got Aiton. Who's going to be that 3 or that 4? Like, I
Bronny.
think
It's
they
gonna be
should.
Bronny James.
I think they should start out the season going. They got to pick a defense. I think Jared Vanderbilt needs to start. They got to get
Yeah,
a defender in there somewhere.
yeah.
Like, and I don't think they go small, like having Marcus Smart play the 3 or something. So
Yeah, I agree. Also, we all know what Luca and LeBron bring to the table. I want to see a little bit more rebounds from Rui. Rui, you are what 6'10", 6'11". You should not be averaging 5 rebounds a game last year. He should be 8, 9 rebounds. All right. Jackson Hayes, who they re-signed on a 1-year deal. Surprisingly, he has a no trade clause,
he
which I
does.
never heard of a guy of that caliber having a no trade clause. But if you have a no trade clause, man, getting under 5 rebounds a game ain't gonna get it done. Now again, he's a lob threat defense, run the court, but you got to get more production from him.
I
Uh,
think like Aiton's gonna start for them, but I really think that there are gonna be times they still pick Jackson Hayes to close a game instead
yeah,
of Aiton.
yeah, because for defensive purposes, that's the only reason
But
why
Jackson
I think so.
Hayes isn't like he's not like a Zubac on D. He's not. He's a backup at best.
But I think because of his running capabilities, his
Yeah, I
athleticism,
guess.
that's probably why. Like, all right, like if they're playing the Clippers, all right, you can rotate him because he's a pretty good switchable center. You know, I want to know what are they gonna do with Dalton Connect? This guy who was having a really good rookie year to start off the season last year gets traded for Mark Williams. That trade gets vetoed, and then he comes back, and he was never the same guy.
I just saw a thing today that said that the league views him as a negative asset, and they would have
Jesus,
to, if the team was to acquire him, the Lakers would have to attach something else, which is
wow.
crazy. The dude was just a rookie, and he
Listen,
had a pretty good start to his rookie season,
yeah,
and he brings a quality that I think is going to be is obviously needed in 3-point shooting. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I know.
Austin Reeves better be averaging 25 points per game too, because they need a third consistent scorer. So it's Reeves' time to shine. He had a
You
good
think
year
they
last year,
need a
20 points per
25
game.
point per game scorer when they got LeBron and Luca on the team?
Well, I think LeBron's going to take a step back because LeBron, I think, said it earlier on his podcast with Steve Nash that he's not going to take starting the regular season and even halfway through the regular season seriously. He's 41 years old, is about to be 41, so he's looking more to play in April, May, and June. So
Man,
LeBron could get he was average 24. LeBron could do 23, 24 points per game and give more of the offense to Austin Reeves. He's capable of it. So Austin Reeves is more time to get knocked down his shots and both move up his points per game from 20 to possibly 22, 23.
I guess, but like he was trying to give the past few years when AD was in LA, he was trying to give the team to AD, and AG just never took it. And LeBron's still the best probably small forward in the league at 40 years old. I don't know.
But now he got Luka Doncic.
I
Luka's gonna
guess,
take
yeah.
it from him.
Right, yes. I definitely it's different players, but
Yeah.
like I don't know. All right. Phoenix. I really think that this is just them. They're waiting for next year. Obviously, they traded KD and didn't have much wiggle room. They got Jalen Green, who I'm a Jalen Green guy. I believe in a ton of those Rockets guys, or well, I guess he's a former Rocket. I
Mhm.
don't know how him and Booker starting in the backcourt together will be, but like I don't, and they don't have a crazy young like they don't have crazy young talent outside of him and like Ryan Dunn. So I really think this is them just waiting for next year. And what comes in the offseason next year for them, I have no clue.
Yeah. I surprisingly think that there'll be a play-in team. Like I said, I was against the Rockets trading away Jalen Green, even though he played very inconsistent against that Golden State Warriors matchup series last year. But I think the combination of him and Green, maybe Green could. Oh, you if you have Booker play the one, that's gonna open up more of Green, especially offensively, and his confidence. It's like, yo, Green, go out and take as many shots as you can. It's the same way he shot himself into a slump. He's gonna have to shoot his way out of a slump. I like Dylan Brooks, who's a pest on the defensive end. You know what's the dynamic that no one is talking about? The fact that Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks, who used to hate each other, did you see the interaction this Olympics last year when Dylan Brooks just walked in front of Devin Booker's interview, and now these guys are teammates? Oh, how full things come to a
Yeah,
circle. So
but
how
I
they're going to
think
get along is going to be a big question mark.
I think that's like Draymond said he would never play with Chris Paul. He ended up playing with Chris Paul.
Yeah,
They were fine. Patrick Beverly and Russell Westbrook played together for God's sake.
yeah.
And we know how that's worse than some Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks. So,
I don't know. I'm
um,
petty like that, but yeah, playing team for them. You got Allen Malich from the player from Duke, the rookie
yeah, I
from Duke.
like their big man rotation. I'm a Mark Williams guy. I'm a Malowach guy. They got a lot of Dookies over there in the big
Mhm.
man. I like them all. But all right, Kings.
Dog shit.
I they're really building like the Chicago Bulls. Like they got Levine and DeRozan. They got like Keegan Murray is basically like a better-ish version of Patrick Williams. They got Sabonis, a foreign center, Vucevic, foreign center, who's a skilled guy like that. Sabonis is better, obviously, but like you want to talk about mediocre. This is it right here.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they do. Maybe they try and see if they can get off DeRozan, but DeRozan doesn't fit in many places at all. So
Yeah, that's a question mark there too. I don't know why they didn't get Russell Westbrook. I know they were trying to get off Malik Monk to make it happen, but yeah,
yeah,
that team, this they don't know what the direction is. They don't like. Okay, Schroeder, good signing. Again, DeRozan, he doesn't look to be happy there. Sabonis probably is going to ask for a trade because they're not going anywhere. Zach LaVine, Malik Monk, like these are the Chicago Kings. I don't know what the hell this franchise and what direction they're going towards for playing team.
all right. Back east, Cavs, top 2 seed. They got to make the conference finals. They haven't made the conference finals in the Donovan Mitchell era. Donovan Mitchell has actually never made the conference finals as good as he's been.
Oh wow, I didn't
Um,
know that.
and if they don't, if they flake out in the first or second round again, a decision is going to have to be made about Garland and or Jared Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mobley, they're not getting rid of Mobley. They're not probably not getting rid of Mitchell. So
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said. Yeah, they got to make the conference finals. I don't want to say we talk about the Cavs. I don't want to say that Kenny Atkinson's job is at stake because he was
no,
rookie of the year. What was it last year, 2 years ago, something like that?
no.
But yeah, they gotta make the conference finals. Especially, there's been rumors a couple of years ago that Donovan Mitchell was looking to get out. He had one foot out, but ended up re-signing. They got Alonzo Ball, which I think was a very, very good pickup for them. That we're gonna see how those two dynamic centers of Mobley and Allen work. Max Strus, Thomas Bryant, who I think was also a solid pickup for them, and DeAndre Hunter. Hopefully, now he has a full training camp under his belt. Let's see how he gets acclimated with his
He
team. So
needs to
yeah,
start, bro.
yeah,
Especially with Max Strus, who's
he
I think
does.
missed
Yeah,
the start of the season.
I agree. He has
DeAndre
to.
Hunter,
So
he's got to start. I know he was one of the 6 men of the year running, but he's got to start, bro.
yeah, I agree. So I think they'll be a top two team and obviously top two team in the East.
All right, Bulls. Honestly, I said they gotta lose. They gotta really start losing because they've just been floating in the plan, and they got to get rid of Vucevic. That's just
Yeah.
easy, simple like that.
Yeah, same. Giddy, I don't know why they took so long to re-sign him. He was arguably the best player along with Kobe White last year.
Yeah,
Vucevic got to go. Ayo, Dosamu, I don't know what they're doing with him. Patrick Beverly also got to get traded too. And maybe you got to look at trade away Kevin Herter. But yeah, stick
out
to
of
the lottery, lose as many games. There'll be a 15-win team this year.
All right. We got the Pistons. They should be a certified playoff team again, top 6 seed. See what Jaden Ivey brings you this season. If we think Jaden Ivey, obviously was hurt pretty bad last year, missed a good chunk of the season, but he was looking pretty good. Determine if he's going to be the guy you want next to Cade, or I mean, he might be one of your best trade assets if you guys don't think that it'll work out. But you got to give him another chance this season.
Yeah, I agree. I think he like fractured his fibula or something like that. Had a
He
nasty knee
broke or
injury.
tore something.
Yeah, something like that. So we're gonna see how he comes back. Cade, I expect him to take another leap, even though he took a dramatic leap last year, to take another leap forward. I expect him to be a bona fide all-star for years to come now. Question marks about Duncan Robinson. He kind of fizzled out of the Miami Heat, so maybe this could be a resurgence place for him. We all know the strength that Jalen Durham brings. There was been some, rumors out there that they might look to trade Isaiah Stewart. Also, we all know Isaiah Stewart deserves to be in the UFC or a box ring than NBA court because that dude likes to fight for no fucking reason. But Tobias Harris again, I like he had a very solid contribution to the team last year. Karis LeVert was a very good addition for them too. So yeah, definitely top 5 team in the East.
Pacers, it's hard with the Halliburton stuff, but see what Nemhard and Matherin can give you on the offensive side with obviously Halliburton out. They're probably 2 of the top 5 favorites for most improved this season. And you want to see some jumps from like a Ben Shepherd or Jarris Walker as well, but I think it's going to be rough with them losing Miles Turner. And then obviously they won't have Halliburton this year, so they got to have some pretty nice jumps from Nemhard and Matherin if they still want to be in the mix.
Yeah, I expect Pascal Siakam to be a 25 points per game night scorer, and I expect either Benedict Mathurin or Nemhard to take that next leap. They also got to be 20 plus points per night scorer. Nemhard was averaging 10 points per game last year. He should easily jump up to 20 points per game with Halliburton not being there. Same thing with Mathurin, who was averaging about 16. He should easily go up to 20, and those two might make a legitimate run for an all-star next year. We all know Siakam is a borderline all-star, but those two, Mathurin and Nemhard, should be serious consideration for all-star next year. But yeah, rebuild year. I'm gonna say maybe play in 8, 9, 10 seed in the East, but we all know once Halliburton comes back, they're gonna be right back at top, being a top 5 team in the East come 2026, 2027.
All right. Bucks.
Okay.
I've said it a ton of times. One of my hot takes this year: Giannis is going to have a LeBron 2018 run where he dragged a bag of bones deep to the playoffs. But you also got to try and see who, like, obviously him and Miles Turner will be starting. It came out that Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be their starting point guard this season, at least to start. But you've got to see who's going to what are those role players from the 1 through 3 position, who's going to fit the best. Even if that means you got to bench Kyle Kuzma, you got to end up benching KPJ. You just got to see who fits best, and that's probably whoever defends and shoots the best. So
yeah, if I'm Giannis, I take a serious consideration, but like, yo, you guys got to get me up out of here. I don't want to play for this team no more, especially when you brought in Kyle Kuzma and he averaged just under 6 points a game in the playoffs for the first 5 games against the Indiana Pacers, your arch rival. Yeah, big question mark on him. I think he's making he signed a 4-year, $90 million deal when he was playing with the Wizards. I'll say I like the addition of Miles Turner, even though it came at them having to waive Damian Lillard. So Giannis doesn't have a legit number 2 co-star. Like you said, you expect him to have monstrous numbers, 35 points per game, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists, but it's not going to amount to anything. Second round exit, and Giannis contemplating his future with the Milwaukee Bucks, because outside of Kuzma, Cole Anthony, who's a nice pickup, his brother Thanasis, who is a shelter, and a bottom feeder for his brother, I don't see anything good with this roster. And Bobby Portis too. Bobby Portis is very solid. But outside of that, Ryan Rollins, AJ Green, Gary Trent Jr., really? Give me a break.
that's what I'm saying. You've just got to find out whoever's going to be the best fit.
And let's not get started on their head coach. Who the head coach is? Doc Rivers, Mr. Choke Artist himself.
All right. 10 teams to go. We're getting through these fast.
Right,
trust. Mavericks. You hope to have AD and Kyrie healthy for the postseason, and Cooper Flags definitely comes in as being the 3rd best player when those two are there, obviously.
Yeah, I'm gonna say play in for them as well too. Probably hovering around the 7-8. Kyrie's
Yeah.
supposed to come back sometime in January. He's already had a schedule, so shout out to Kai. Anthony Davis looked a little bit huffy, puffy. I don't know if that Texas food's getting to him. I don't know if Cooper Flag's going to be in the running for Rookie of the Year because of AD, Kyrie, and Klay Thompson. He's not going to get, those 15, 20, 25 shots a game. But again, they're going to take him under his wing, and he'll be fine. PJ Washington got a nice deal. Same thing with Daniel Gafford. So, yeah. And Russell was added to the team too. So shout out to Nico Harrison, who went from being the most hated GM in the league to now arguably the most best GM in the league.
Jesus.
One
Um,
of them.
Rockets. I mean, I've been a Rockets fan of what they've been doing for a while. Top 4 seed. You got to figure out the point guard / playmaking duties with obviously Fred VanVleet tearing his ACL a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Whether that's a man or
That's a
you
big
trade
loss.
for somebody in December or January when everyone becomes eligible. Their preseason game actually just started. Kevin Durant's playing, but they're starting Reed Shepherd,
Mm.
who's gonna have to have a big role this season, whether that's maybe eventually starting or just playing good minutes off the bench.
Yeah, I agree. KD going to the Rockets was the best thing that could happen to the Rockets in a while, even though I hate that it had to come at them trading Jalen Green. But when you got an offensive firepower like KD, you're gonna automatically be a title contention team. Sucks that Fred is not gonna be there towards ACL. I expect guys like Amen Thompson to have more point guard duties. Along with maybe even Tari Eason, or hell, even Aaron Holiday could start playing the point a little bit more. We've seen KD play point forward as well too. I like that they brought Clint Capella back, Steven Adams, who's one of the most strongest guys in the league, and Alperen Sengun, man. The Rockets legitimately could have 3 All-Stars this year with Durant, Sengun, and Amen Thompson, who everyone expects to take that extra leap going into year 3.
Yeah. I wanted to see, hold on a second. I saved something talking about, obviously this was after the Fred VanVleet thing, but the Houston Rockets have 9 players in their rotation that have over a 7-foot wingspan.
Jesus.
Like they could really start at a team where everybody is like 6'8" or taller.
That's crazy.
Amen. Like if they went Amen, Tari Eason, Kevin Durant, Jabari, and Sengun. Like the players that have over 7-foot wingspans is Amen Thompson, Jeff Green, who's still there, Tari Eason, Steven Adams, Kevin Durant, Clint Capella, Jabari, Sengun, and Josh Okogie.
Mm.
And Dorian Finney-Smith, who I forgot they stole from LA, has a 6'11" and a half wingspan. So damn near 10.
Yeah.
So defensively, I mean, this without seeing a second of Kevin Durant play for the Houston Rockets, this might be my favorite spot that he's gone to.
Yeah.
And that might just be because I'm a sucker for some Houston Rockets, but
if they really want to fill the void that Fred VanVleet is leaving, there's a guy who wears number 0 by the name of Russell Westbrook, former league MVP and Mr. Triple Double. The fact that he's not in the league right now is a disgrace.
Crazy. All right. Grizzlies, you got to try and stay in the mix out west. You lost Desmond Bane. Ja is now going to miss the start of the season, just can't catch a break, and hope that he is there for most of the season and playoffs and goes back to like 2022 Ja.
Yeah, same. I echo everything that you said. Jackson and Ja taking up most of the money. Edie, I expect him to continue to progress again. Jalen Wells had a solid outing last year. Hopefully, he continues to progress. I know he had that like nasty facial injury. Santi Aldama, center. I expect him to get some good playing time as well too. I like the addition of KCP, veteran knockdown shooter, championship experience, has 2 rings on his resume. Brandon Clark, again, big body, can play defense. Scottie Pippen Jr., I liked him a lot last year. Hopefully, he continues to improve. I mean, hey,
now they also got Ty Jerome too.
Yeah, that's a good
They
pickup for them.
stole from Cleveland.
So
Absolutely stole them.
I expect them, like you said, to be a middle of the pack team as well.
Pelicans, is Zion still the future? Like, is this are we still living in this fantasy? Are we giving him this year? What happens if this year isn't what you want?
You got to trade him at this point. You got see this is the thing. I don't want to go into quick run because I know we're on a time constriction. But
Right.
isn't this like a contract year for Zion Williamson? I believe he signed an extension a couple years ago, 5 years, 193, almost $93 million. That could be worth up to 200. Okay, no, it's not. But the thing is, just like, why does it take you until you're 25 for you to finally get in fucking shape? You're a professional athlete. He looks great. He got fit. He's muscular. He's lean. He's toned, but it shouldn't have to take you until you're halfway till approaching 30, 5 years removed from approaching 30 to be in basketball shape. You are a professional athlete. You should have done this 3, 4, 5 years ago when you came into the league, not now. But hey, Zion, hopefully he is the future. Maybe he's gonna go back to his Duke days when he's just dunking on everybody. They brought in Jordan Poole, who we all know is offensive firepower, has some immaturity issues. Was got question marks how Murray's gonna look coming off that Achilles. Trey Murphy, I expect him to take a leap as well too. He had a great year last year, and they brought in Kevon Looney, so we all know how the pick and roll dynamic is going to be with Murray and Looney. But yeah, and Derek Queen as well too, big solid pickup. But other than that, like if you guys are depending on Zion, I'd fucking rather just rub my ass against the trees greater. I mean, I
All
don't,
right. Spurs. Everybody wants the top 6 seed. Everyone wants the playoff jump, but I'm not sure if they're there yet. Like they are a damn good team. Their guard rotation between De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper probably is going to be pretty good. I think Dylan Harper is missing the start of the season. Um, and obviously they got still Devin Vassell, obviously Wemby, the 5 down low. And hopefully Wemby's healthy for the whole year and we can see him in the play-in / playoffs. But I don't know if they're a top 6 seed guaranteed yet.
no, not yet. I would probably maybe put them maybe 5, but definitely again approaching playing team. The
Say a
team's
smooth
still
8
young.
or 9.
Yeah, this team is definitely still young. Wemby put on some grown man weight. He looks a little
Oh,
muscular
did you
now, and
see the
apparently,
list of people he trained with? He trained with
oh,
like Kevin Garnett, I think
KG, yeah,
Hakeem, someone from I think China, maybe someone the great,
yeah. He
something
was
like
with the
that.
monks. Yeah, he was with the
Yeah,
monks that he cut his hair off.
shaved his head.
I'm telling you this right now. Wemby is going to be my favorite for rookie of the year because the way his
Rookie of the
off
year.
season, yeah, not rookie, excuse me, MVP.
Okay,
Wemby is going to be my favorite for MVP. You talk about trading with KD, with the monks, with Hakeem, and you saw that one highlight clip when he was going down the lane. He
yeah.
just pushed whoever out the way. It was like, if he put on Giannis muscle, watch out for the league. Oh, it's over. It's over. And he got a jump shot, and he can handle like a point guard. Oh Lord, ooh. But
All
yeah,
right.
Dylan Harper again. Rookie. I think he probably might be rookie of the year as well too. Dylan Harper. I like that pick and roll combination that they're gonna have with Wemby, Stephon Castle, tutor him under his wing, even though he's gonna be a second year player. Shohan, Vassell. This team is very very young. And obviously, we forgot about Fox, who just got paid that extension. They're
I
probably
don't
gonna look.
like that contract.
You don't? I think it's a good contract for
Bro,
him.
it's like 60 million.
Yeah, but players nowadays in the NBA, they getting overpaid. It's
Bro,
the NBA inflation money.
Fox is a good player for sure, bro. Hold on, let me see. Do they? Hopefully, they have it on
I
basketball.
think they're gonna have to also probably get
Yeah,
rid of Harrison
bro.
Barnes.
So 37 this year. It's the last year of the original contract. Then 49, 53, 57, 61 until 2030.
Yeah, he'll
I'm
probably.
not gonna again. De'Aaron Fox is a good player, but De'Aaron Fox is just the first player that has come out to say, I want to play with Wemby. There are
Yeah.
going to be so many better players than De'Aaron Fox that are going to want to play with Wemby. And if you've got that salary hanging over your head, knowing damn well Wemby's going to get one of the biggest contracts of this time,
Mhm,
Castle's probably going to get paid with the way he's going, just based
mhm,
off his rookie year. You've still
mhm,
got young guys, Dylan Harper at some point, if you stick with him. Devin Vassell's making like 25 to 32 million in a year. It just,
mhm.
I don't know. But all right, last 5 teams. Let's just, if you agree with what I say, agree. If you want to chime in, then you can chime in.
All right,
Hawks,
cool.
playoff team, but you got to keep Porzingis, Trey, and Jalen Johnson healthy. Like
Agree.
Jalen Johnson missed a bunch of time last year. Trey Young had a wrist thing. I think Porzingis gets it has had every injury known to man. And then
They were
hopefully,
saying Porzingis had AIDS last year. Did you?
and then a jump from Ricochet offensively. You'd hope he looked pretty good, second and rookie of the year.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the health of Porzingis is going to be the X
Yeah,
factor. But yeah, I'll think they'll be a good top five team in the East.
right. And they got Nikhil, they got Luke Kennard. Like they're a pretty good team.
Yeah,
Hornets, we got to see some progress. LaMelo needs to play, and he needs to play basketball that can win them some games. It's cool seeing the one-legged shots, seeing the, whatever weird behind the back passes, things like that. But if you're not winning games, right? I mean, I know he doesn't necessarily want to be in Charlotte, and I know his dad doesn't want him in Charlotte either. But man, we gotta see something because who's gonna buy in on that? I know someone will. Someone will buy in on the LaMelo for sure because he's still an all-star
he's a great.
talent.
Yeah, he's great.
But
He's a great player.
if you're not playing winning basketball, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. There was a report that I saw that the Hornets want LaMelo Ball to be like take these guys under the wing and be a leader. I mean, we've seen the immaturity, especially on the court, sometime with that
I
one-legged
think some
stuff.
of the rookies are more immature than LaMelo
Yeah,
Ball.
exactly. Conker Nipple is probably more mature than LaMelo Ball right now. But yeah, like I said, this team is gonna be. I wouldn't be surprised if they're picking the lottery again next year. Like they have
Oh
the talent, Miller, Miles Bridges. They just got in Colin Sexton and whatnot. But we
yeah,
know what
center
the Charlotte
rotation's
Hornets.
trash
Yeah,
after
we
Gambrell
know what the
went.
Hornets do every single year. Like Spencer Dinwiddie ain't moving seats. So yeah,
Heat, you got to get. I don't know, like the 10 seed maybe, but like get Jovic and Jaquez back in the mix. They just extended Nikola Jovic to a 4 year, $60 million contract. Kind of a lot for a guy that I don't like. He was in and out of the rotation and he wasn't starting. Like, and he's not gonna start, I don't think. So now, granted, it's only about 15, 16 mil a year, but like, I don't know. He's a good player, but man, I think that was
the
a little
Heat way is no more. I'm sorry to say, Pat Riley's lost his touch.
yeah,
I don't know why Jaquez pretty much fell out the rotation
I
last year.
know. No.
Playing team for that team again.
All right, Magic. Playoff team. Hopefully you see an offensive jump. Their offensive game has I don't think they've been it's either top 10 or top 15 offense in the league in like 20 years. And like obviously their three-point shooting, not great. Obviously, you get Desmond Bain, who's a near 20-point guy, and a guy who takes, I would assume at minimum 7, 8 threes a game. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully Paulo Franz stays healthy, Jalen Suggs, but I would say that they should be a playoff team. They were in the play-in last year with all the injuries to Paolo and Franz and Suggs. They should easily be a playoff team with the injuries that have happened out east.
Same playoff team, second round exit. Paolo, I think he might be have some serious conversations for MVP. Desmond Bain again, if he's knocking down 45% of his 3-point shots, that's better offense than what they had last year. And hopefully the Wagner brothers can stay healthy. Don't know what the hell's going on with Jonathan Isaac because the guy like plays 2 games and is
It
out for like the rest
sucks,
of the
but he's
year.
getting paid.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So yeah, playoff team for
And
sure.
then Wizards, last team, start to see who's long term. Start prioritizing the youngins. I know you got CJ and Chris Middleton over there, but like they're not gonna be there. Maybe more than they may not be there till the deadline. But
No.
like you got Alex Sarr, Bilal, Bub Carrington, you got Trey Johnson. You got to prioritize these young guys and really get going because it's been some years since you got rid of Bradley Beal. Obviously the Jordan Poole for CJ trade we talked about, but gotta start. They shouldn't be the worst team in the league this year. They're not going to be a playoff team or play-in team, but they should be like 12, 13 out east, I would say. I think the Nets and Hornets would both be worse than the Wizards this year.
Dog shit for the Wizards. That's it. They just dog shit. The unction, the dog shit unction.
All right.
All right, that is our season preview for all 30 teams in the NBA. Opening night is October 21st on NBC. RIP to TNT. We love you guys. So yeah, that is it. If you guys are new, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel at Hoops All In. Subscribe to Keith's personal YouTube channel at Noseball. Does good work over there. Subscribe to my own personal YouTube channel. Even I talk about other stuff outside of basketball and sports. But yeah, subscribe. Share this with your friends, family. If you want to chime in, comment down below. For World's Francois, Keith Bazin signing off. We'll be back with another episode of Hoops All In with basketball right around the corner. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are.